everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's Tech Talk with the Entrepreneurs and Consultants Special Interest Group at the Capital PC User Group. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Barbara Kahn. I'm chair of the ENC SIG and the one who sends out all the email messages about CPCUG events. We're able to put on our meetings because we have dues, and our dues are $42 a year. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about Phil. Phil is currently working for Tacoma Park Public Library, training the public in using computers on the 28 public access Linux computers they have at the library and at its adjoining community center. He has presented workshops on digital storytelling at various regional and national venues. Previously, Phil worked for Arlington Public Schools, managing 200 Macs at 2 elementary schools and training teachers on integrating computers and video production into their teaching. So, without further ado, join me in welcoming Phil.
Okay, thanks for showing up. Thank you, Barbara, for inviting me. What I wanted to talk about today is different free software you can use to do storytelling on the internet. And there's one program in particular that for Windows that I totally adore. It's called PowerBullet. And it's like PowerPoint, but your presentation goes up onto the internet and it creates a Flash slideshow. And Flash is nice for what reasons? Who knows what reasons Flash is nice? Who can tell me? Anybody have any ideas? Flash is nice, yeah. What's that? It does video, right. But Flash is also something that makes small files so that people dial up, yes.
Vector graphics.
Vector graphics also. Flash is very pretty. So this makes Flash files, and it's called PowerBullet, and it runs on almost any Windows computers, Windows 98, Windows ME, XP. So you can use it on, even like on an older donated computer, you can use PowerBullet. It's also pretty simple, the learning curve. For those people who tried to learn Flash, there's a lot to learn. This is very simple to learn. There's not all that many options, and the options they give you are excellent options. So, do you know what I think I wanted to do today? I also want to show you Audacity, this free software for recording audio. And you can also edit audio in Audacity. So let me ask, is there anybody here who has a story that they want to tell on the internet? Any kind of story, whether it's related to your hobbies or work or whatever. Do you have a story? And what's your name?
Alice.
Alice?
Alice.
Okay, Alice, what kind of a story do you have?
I've been working at a shelter teaching art classes, and there's a man at the shelter who's very talented.
Right.
And he's just had an art show. He makes these ceramic heads. He sold the heads and taken courses at Montgomery College. He's just taking off. I think it's a nice story.
That's, I'll repeat that for the people on camera who might not have heard you. Alice is teaching art at a shelter, and there's a very talented person there who's selling his art. That sounds like a good story. Anybody else have stories that they might want to do? Should we work on that? Yeah, let's work on that. Do you have your, any photos or graphics, anything like that that you could put?
With me?
Yeah. Did you bring anything with you? Not really?
I have my keychain's got some photos on it.
Oh, you have a flash drive? Yeah, bring it on over. Bring it over. Yeah. Great. So Alice, yeah, let's get a chair. Get a chair. There might be one behind or something. So we have some photos apparently on this flash, and the fun thing about this meeting is it's impromptu. We're just going to learn by doing. I'm plugging this flash into the USB on this laptop, this flash drive. Flash drive is also called jump drive. Some people call them jump drives. Any other names? They call them thumb drive. Some people call them thumb drives. Okay. And this laptop is probably going to see it. Yeah. And it's giving us some choices. Have a seat. Have a seat. There's room for both of us here.
You
might want to say about this laptop being an example of an older laptop.
This is a Pentium 3 laptop that's owned by the Capital PC User Group. It's got Windows XP on here. And
it started out as a Windows Me.
It started out as a Windows Millennium Edition. And it's got 512 megabytes of memory. It's got upgraded memory. So, let's take a look at some of these photos. Is it photos or graphics?
Photos.
Photos? Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at what we have. So I'm going to my computer, and the folks on the video won't see this, but we'll kind of describe it for them. Here's our removable media. And, oh, I see you got some JPEGs on here. Okay. Let's take a peek at some of these things. I'm double clicking and it's not showing up. Do you know what? Let me try a browser.
Do you use a Mac?
Yeah, these were on a Mac, yeah.
They were on a Mac?
Yes.
Then the files are actually lower.
Oh, they're actually lower?
Yeah.
Oh, those are the periods. Oh, you're so smart. We're lucky to have in the audience somebody who knows more about this stuff than me. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so here we are. There we are. Oh, that's a nice photo.
That's one of his ceramic heads
Right.
that he painted.
And what's the name of the artist?
His name is Alvin Thomas.
Alvin Thomas, okay. So here's PowerBullet. I've installed it on this laptop. And it is, let me see where, down here. So PowerBullet was made by a talented programmer in Australia, Mark Carolan. Here's PowerBullet. So, what do you say we choose a background so that we have some kind of colored background to work on? Does that make sense? Let's give that a try. Let's background color. What suggestions? What kind of background should we have? What do people like? A gray? That's what. Maybe I like light brown or yellow. What? But it's got to be a group project.
The photos are going to be able to be contrasted from, right?
Right. The photos.
The photo you showed us had a lot of browns and yellows and
Okay.
stuff, so you need something lighter.
Something light. Something light for the background. Thank you. Somebody who knows about colors. Maybe a charcoal?
Yellow or
Something bright? Something like that? That looks good, maybe. That looks good, maybe. Okay. Then let's try and insert a graphics. We can insert a graphic straight from the straight from that flash drive. I don't think we even have to copy it over to the hard drive. So let's go insert and image. Insert image. Do you see there's just a couple choices here? I love this software. And we want to navigate out to the removable disk. James, could I ask you can you take a look at the camcorder and move me? Right now I'm in the bottom third and I should be more in the center. Just move everything on up a little bit. Yeah. See. You twist. We can twist it to loosen it. Twist to loosen. Right. On this tripod, you twist to loosen it. Right. There we go. I think that might be better framed. Is that good? Great. Can you twist the LCD back so? Good. Great. So we have our homemade video studio here. It's pretty cool. I'm just going to wait till they go by. So now we're going to insert this graphic right straight from the removable disk. And let us go over here to Alvin Thomas. Let's try 1A. How about that? Oh, that's looking good. And I think our screen over here is 800 by 600 screen. Is that what the projector is? 800 by 600? Rather than 1024 by 768?
Whatever you have your laptop set to.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should try set our laptop to bigger. Let's see if we can do that. Because we want this photo to look really great. So let me see if I can come over to the control panels and set this laptop bigger in terms. You can tell I'm more of a Macintosh and Linux guy. When I'm over on Windows, it takes me a little longer. What is it?
Alphabetical order with display.
Display. Thanks. I'm looking for like monitor, you know.
Far right hand tab, settings.
Thank you, thanks. Okay. And we want to go up. Let's go up. Yeah, let's try that. Good, great. This gives us more creativity, more creative room. Right. Okay, so I'm going to open up this window. That's looking nice. And move that on up. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we even start making the photos, we may probably have to have a title slide, right? We should maybe put a little text. So let me take that. Let me just delete that. Press. I think I just select it and press the delete button. There, it's gone. So let's add some text. Insert text. This text is going to look gorgeous on the internet because it's like vector text. So whatever size monitor, it's going to look great. Even if you have a gigantic monitor, it's going to look great. So here's some little text. How about if we open it up? Alice, is this project something you're working on by yourself, or is there an organization?
No, I have a nonprofit organization. It's called Art for the People.
Art for the People?
And we took these classes with Art for the People.
Art for the People. Okay. And what town or city are you located in?
Tacoma Park.
Tacoma Park. Tacoma Park, Maryland. Okay. And your website is www.
Artforthepeople.org.
Artforthepeople.org?
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. So let us select that text and let us make it bigger. Whoa. Yeah, that's looking kind of nice. We should probably center it, shouldn't we? Right?
I think you want Tacoma and Park on the same.
Oh, you're right. Thanks.
And for the, even though it's not grammatically correct,
Right.
they're both capital.
Right,
It's
right.
Art, and then the F's a capital and the T's a capital.
Got it.
So I go
That's all right.
AFTP.
Good. So today's presentation, the fun part is we're doing as we're learning. Okay. How about if, let's make that text color, what's complementary to yellow? Blue? Blue? Okay. So we're going to have to find the text color place. And bear with me. Set gradients, set text or line color. Here it is. So we'd like, is blue complementary? Is that what we're going to try? Oh, that's looking pretty nice. And we should center that. Is there a centering icon? Bam. Oh, we're doing pretty well. We should maybe pull this down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And maybe we'll come in here and add a line. How's that?
Do you want a dot between Maryland and Tacoma?
Yeah,
Park?
you're right.
There.
No, we do care. It's got to, yeah. There we are. And actually, I'd like Art for the People to be a larger size than this. I wonder if the software is going to let us have two different font sizes. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We just have to figure out. Let's try it.
Ooh.
Oh, the software does let us do that. That's kind of neat. I didn't know that ahead of time. So now we'd like to insert a new page, right? It's like PowerPoint. We're putting in a new slide, new page. So we go insert, or let's say page. Page add a page. Bam, it keeps the same background. Good, we ready for some photos. Now what's really cool here is that this software takes care of making the slideshow. All you focus on is the content. It's going to add the little slide navigation, the red things at the bottom, left and right. And whoever made the software, they did a great job of making it easy for people just to focus on the storytelling part. Let's go and insert in graphics here. Insert an image, and thanks to Nia, we know that this is what we want to do. Bam. And let's maybe put it here. We'd like to maybe put some text beside it. you should maybe make a little caption. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Insert text. Oops, the text is way over there. We want to bring it here. What should we say, Alice?
You could say Alvin Thomas ceramic heads.
Alvin Thomas's ceramic heads.
Ceramic sculpture.
Sculptures, right? Did he sell some of these?
He did.
How-
He had a show in Silver Spring, and he sold enough to take a class, summer school class at Montgomery College, and to buy some clay, which is what he
Okay.
makes these out of.
How much did he sell?
How much money
Yeah,
it's worth?
yeah.
About $600.
Wow, that's a lot. Alvin Thomas's ceramic sculptures have sold over $600. Where were they?
Kiefer Cafe, K-E-F-A Cafe, and
K-E-F-A
Cafe in Silver Spring.
in Silver Spring, and where else?
So far, that's it.
And so far, that's it. And so
Do
far,
you want to say where he's a native?
right, yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
he's in a shelter. He's
Right.
in Silver Spring.
right, okay. That's all right. Let's make this bigger. Oh, look at the way when you make it bigger, it goes smaller first. Well, that's almost like a little bug in the software, but we don't care. We love the software. That's looking pretty nice. And
Are all of his heads similar? Like, so it looks like it's a,
Right.
I don't know,
Excuse
an
me?
island or something.
right.
Looks like they're what?
The face looks more like it's an island costume.
Oh, from Jamaica, maybe from the Caribbean.
I'm not sure what I have a picture of him himself on this, but
Right.
he has men and women and babies and old people and young people. He just is off.
Let's try 2A. Let's see what shows up. Oh, that's looking kind of nice.
Sounds like yellow.
You know, that blue background looks a lot like this blue background.
Just a neutral color.
Yeah, that's kind of a coincidence. Okay, let's insert text. Bring it on over. And Alvin's, does Alvin teach other people at the shelter art? Does he help? Does he?
He would like to. He hasn't gotten there yet.
Okay.
He would like to teach classes. He's
You want to
interested
say
in
something like
Yeah.
hand-painted clay
Alvin's hand-painted.
They are
Thank you.
hand-painted ceramics.
ceramics?
Hand-painted ceramics
They have to go in a kiln?
Yes,
Um,
they do. They're fired.
are fired in a kiln. Thank you. How do you spell kiln?
K-I-L-N.
Descriptive of that, like a picture of a man or something, I guess.
Yeah, we do have a photo of the artist himself. Do you know what? Maybe we should put the photo of the artist way up front. That's what.
No, I'm talking about like the more descriptive of the painting itself.
Oh.
On the first one, it was
Right.
like ceramic sculpture.
Okay.
But I don't know, I mean, it's just
Right.
a ceramic sculpture.
Oh, right.
Of what?
Of what? Right. So we should maybe be describing the actual art itself.
Right.
That's maybe good. Yeah, let's try it. This is a collaborative project. How do you spell kiln?
K-I-L-N.
Okay. Alvin's hand-painted ceramics are fired in a kiln. And what's the reason for why do people fire him? To give him longevity?
Permanent.
To make the colors permanent?
Well, to make the clay
The
permanent.
clay becomes ceramic.
Otherwise, the clay would
to
melt
make-
up
oh,
again if
okay.
it got wet.
To make the clay permanent. Okay. This particular sculpture is what is this one of?
Now, he has names and titles for all these
Okay.
pieces, but I don't know all those names.
Okay, so there are some names and titles for these. We don't have them with us today. Let's say this particular sculpture is of a distinguished gentleman. How's that? What's he? Yeah.
Tribal, I don't
Yeah.
know, native costume
In native costume.
They're
Okay.
interested in other cultures and
Ah.
other religions
Okay.
and how people are and
Okay.
how people are different.
Okay. So you can see if I want to increase the font, I have to select the font. I have to go in there and select the font and then increase it in size. Like so.
You're not hitting the text side, you're just scrolling?
I'm just hitting the text increase button.
Oh.
There's a letter T for text increase, and there's a smaller letter T for text increase, text decrease with an arrow. Do you know what would be really kind of interesting is if we had a screen capture, if we had the video of me talking and we had the screen capture so people could see this on the web like side-by-side videos. Now that is doable. I've done that. And if some of you looked at some of the links, it is possible to have kind of like live video and a screencast. A screencast is a narrated movie of screen activity with a mouse. And I'm going to talk about screencasting just as soon as we finish our storytelling. There's a screencasting component of today's talk. There. I think, let's save this. How about we save this and let's get into start recording some audio. And we're going to call this Art for the People. And let's put it out here on the desktop. Okay, that's good. Now, let's take a quick look at our slideshow. Yeah, quick question. Yeah.
Can this also be converted to other formats?
Yeah, you could create an exe file, just like a self-run, something besides a Flash file. You could create a multimedia that you could send to Windows people, and they don't even have to have Flash to see it. So I don't think you can create an AVI out of this. I don't think you can make an AVI from this, like a video. Yes?
What's the native format you see?
It saves in as Swift SWF, which is SWF. That's a Flash format, shockwave format. Yeah. Let's take a quick look at the slideshow so far. We don't have audio in here yet, but let's take a quick peek at it. I'm going to go to Project and export the project. I went to Project and I chose Export. And now it's exporting it. And it's going to load up a browser, one of the two browsers on this computer. Oh, this is what the slideshow looks like. And let's just cancel that. And down here at the bottom, we have navigational arrows. There's a red arrow pointing left, and it's got a line in it because we're at the first slide. And oh, this is our slide. So we have space. We could maybe use that space if we wanted to. And then that's our second one. Oh, look, almonds are fired in a kiln. Okay, that's looking good. So we know the slideshow making thing, it's all functioning. Yes, Nia?
So it automatically creates the HTML?
It does. It creates the HTML. So when you upload it, you get two files, an HTML file and the Swift file. Hi, thanks for coming. I think there might be one last, there's a chair in the back. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, Nia?
I guess my other question was, will you have to, does it save the images automatically? Or
Yes, it bundles them yes, it bundles them right into a single file. And it's going to be pretty small. It compresses it all while it's doing that. So let's start up Audacity. How many people here have used or heard of Audacity? It's sound recording and editing software. People haven't used it? It's really neat. They have versions for the Macintosh, for Linux, for Windows. They even have a version for Mac OS 9. So if you're way back in Mac OS 9, yeah.
What's the download time for the Audacity?
Oh, Audacity? You mean it's a small little program to download it. It doesn't take long to download. It's maybe 2 or 3 megabytes. Yeah. And it keeps getting better. It's open source. It's almost professional level audio. There's so many features in there. The reason I want to show it to you today is that I don't know 9/10 of the features. I just use the features I know and like. And I just want to show you the features that you too can know and like.
And where is it available?
Oh, and here Audacity is available from audacity.sourceforge, SOURCE sourceforge, FORGE.net. I see some people.
Does Audacity go in front of it or not?
Audacity.sourceforge.net. I see some people brought some pens and paper. If you brought pen and paper, that means you belong to the Thirsty for Knowledge Club. Thirsty for Knowledge Club. It's a good club to belong to. Okay. Let's start up Audacity. Here's the icon for Audacity. It looks like a headphones. Oops, I moved it. Oh, and where did it go? Oh, here it is. Here's Audacity. This is Audacity. Looks like a tape recorder, like a digital tape recorder. Yes?
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Going back to the
Yeah.
bullet,
Yeah.
how does that have any effect on any type of the browsers, like if you use IE or Mozilla?
Oh, the question is, it's an excellent question. Does PowerBullet work equally well with Internet Explorer and Firefox or other browsers? I think it works probably best with Internet Explorer. That's my experience with it. But Firefox is a very popular browser, and I believe it works well. I mean, I think you can use it with Firefox once you put it on the web. But I think PowerBullet might be looking for Internet Explorer. It might be looking for that. Okay, so now we are ready to take a look at Audacity. Now, I've got a little idea about how we can record the audio for this. We want to do it so we have the so that it's the most enjoyable for Alice. So how about if we do something like this? We could record some 1 minute or 2 minute segments, and if she likes the segment, we can continue, and if she doesn't like the segment, we can repeat that little recording. And then if we do a couple little segments, we can just put them all together, and nobody out there on the internet will ever suspect that we recorded them in little pieces, because we're just going to put them together. We'll copy and paste them together. So that takes away, like, she doesn't have to talk. And we can also take out any ums and ahs, or any pauses can be deleted. So that's really fun. In fact, I'm going to ask Alice to intentionally add in some ums and ahs, which that takes some concentration to add in some ums and ahs, right? Right. Especially when you got an audience here. Okay, so I'm going to use for the
So do you attach the audio to one photo or another, and then
Yes,
do
right.
new audio for each photo?
Yes, each slide has its own audio, and we don't have a running track. We don't have an audio for the whole thing. Each little individual slide has its own audio. And it might be polite to the people watching it to tell how much audio is on each slide. You might say 90 seconds of audio on the slide itself in text, so that people have, and then at the very beginning, we might say total runtime. We might give people an idea if they're launching into a 25-minute presentation or an 8-minute presentation. We can just be courteous about that, right? This is what we're going to use to record the audio into Audacity. It's a little headset. You buy these at Radio Shack for about $20. You could use other kinds of computer microphones too. Okay? I happen to like this because I use this for like video conferencing also. Okay? And the red part of the connector is for the microphone, and the black part of the connector is for the headset. So we plug in the red part in, and we can put this onto Alice. Good. And yeah, she should just bend it. This is bendable. That's bendable, so we should just bend it out. That's great. And so if I want to record, I just press the record button. So Alice, for our first little segment, let's talk about what you are going to talk about, okay? So you want to, let's just do a little strategizing. You want to say, Art for the People, you're going to tell, is a couple of years old, right?
Yes, it's a nonprofit.
Okay.
It's a couple of years old.
Right.
This particular shelter called us up and asked us to come do classes.
Okay.
We met this man that had a lot of talent.
Right.
And he's produced a lot of ceramic pieces, and I fired him in my kiln.
Right.
And this all kind of came together when he had an exhibit at Kifa Cafe.
Right.
And many people came, and people bought his artwork.
That's good. So that's the whole story. We want to divide up that story into maybe little 2-minute pieces if we can, okay? So let's give it a try. Here's when I press record, you don't have to start speaking right away either, because we can easily edit out the pause. If there's a 10-second pause before you just thinking about what you want to say, okay?
So what do we,
Yeah.
is this going to go with the first slide, or is this background material? What are you thinking about for this?
Good. Well, what is our
particular-
strategy here? Should we
For this
have,
first little
I think the
blurb?
first slide, Art for the People, ought to have, Art for the People was an organization I started to bring art to people who otherwise are not involved in producing art.
That's true.
And, or you can say bring art enjoyment. You know what? You might want to use the word the rewards of art, because there's a financial aspect to it. People are selling their art, right? So
Yes, but they also just they enjoy it. It's
process.
calming.
Yeah.
It produces pleasure when you do art.
Okay.
You like it.
Good.
They
You're right.
like it.
Right.
And I mostly work with people who can't do art because they don't have enough money to buy art materials.
Right. Let me just. We have two microphones on you.
Okay.
Here we are. So here we go. Let's give it a shot. So you can,
All right.
this is our first little segment, and so we'll plan for just like a minute or 2 minutes, and I'll just switch off when it sounds to me like you're ready. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Art for the People is a nonprofit that I started 3 years ago. We bring art to people who don't have art activities. We go to teens at risk, we go to shelters, and we go to the homeless, usually the seniors, usually in subsidized housing. Is that?
That's good. That's good. Great. Now, one thing you can do in Audacity is you can boost the signal, so we can make it louder. Right now, if I play it, we just have a tiny speaker here. And when I was bringing in all this equipment, one thing I didn't bring in was my little computer speaker. That's one thing I kind of forgot. I was bringing in all the rest of the stuff. But that's all right. We're good at improvising, aren't we? So let me do a select all here. Edit and select all. And I'm going to effects. I'm going to amplify it. And it gives me some choices. We can amplify it like so. Let's allow clipping. Does anybody know what clipping is? Clipping is when the audio sounds a little muffled or something, if you overdrive it. So let's allow clipping, because it doesn't give us too many choices if we don't allow clipping. Well, you see that it gets grayed out if we don't allow clipping. Let's allow clipping. And let's give this a try. Okay, looks like a better signal.
Okay, Art for the People is a nonprofit that I started 3 years ago. We bring art to people who don't
Okay.
have.
If you were sitting right here, you would hear an excellent CD quality audio from Alice. She just gave us a great.
They can't hear it.
They can't hear it, right?
Can't
Sorry.
hear it.
You can
Oh,
actually
good.
hear it, right? You can actually hear it. I could go back and I could do a second amplify. I could do a repeat amplify, do you see? But you can just take my word that we're getting some real crystal clear audio from Alice. And that's exciting, because we're going to put this crystal clear audio, we're going to compress it to MP3 format. So there will be some loss, of audio quality. But the original recording is going to be pristine, crystal clear. And so it's going to end up sounding pretty great. So let's save that. In fact, I'm going to save that. Let's save project as Art for the People. And I'm saving it in a folder called Lame. Lame is some software that works in conjunction. It's free software. It works in conjunction with Audacity, and that creates MP3 files from Audacity. Lame, L-A-M-E. And and on the Audacity download page, they will have a link to where you can get Lame. Or you have an alternative too. I tend to use the iTunes music software for creating MP3 files. So I might even record something on a Linux or Windows computer, move it over to my Mac using a flash drive, because that gives you really precise control over the quality. Does anybody know what kind of quality MP3 we should have for the presentation? They measure quality of MP3 in kilobits per second. Anybody here have any ideas? Nia, do you have an idea? What? Okay. I think if we chose something like 96 kilobits per second, that would sound really clear. And we could also choose 128. 128 would sound very clear audio. But we don't want it to be sounding too clear, because it would take longer for people to get by a dial-up modem. And we want this presentation accessible to people with modems. Okay, so we kind of want to compromise, but not compromise. We could also have two different versions. We could have a version that, you know, we could even have a version for the huge screen monitors that some people have. So we've saved that, and I want to close it now. We're going to go into our second little segment. Yeah, question.
So, when you talk about Java, what would you recommend then for those who have Java in comparison to the
Oh, what would you recommend? You might, depending on the presentation and the purpose. Like sometimes this purpose we want to kind of impress upon people the nature of this community work that's going on. But if you're providing some educational material where the quality of audio is not as important as what's being said in terms of the educational content, you might get away with like 64 kilobits per second. If you go down to less than 64 kilobits per second, it's not going to sound too good. It's going to sound pretty bad. Muffled. It's going to sound muffled. It might sound like the very earliest real audio, when real audio came out. And what year did real audio first come out? Who's the historians here? Like 1995, 1996, real audio came out. Real audio version 1. So let's do our next little segment, okay? And we ended the last segment with, what did we end with?
We were talking about what Art for the People does.
Right.
Maybe we should introduce Alvin.
Yes, you can say, I've been particularly impressed with this one artist. Right.
I've been particularly impressed in our classes with this one artist who began to make ceramic heads. And we gave him clay. He made more, I believe he's made 30 ceramic heads at this point. I fire him in my kiln and he hand paints them.
That's an excellent segment. Let's select all. For some reason, the volume, even though we got the microphone going right in, I can't figure this out, but it doesn't come in at the right volume that I like to use it at. So I almost always, here we are. Whoops. Let's listen to it a little bit.
I've been particularly impressed in our classes with this one artist.
Now, we do have a very nice public address system, so when we're finished, we could possibly even hook up the laptop to the PA system if there's some way of figuring it out. So, let us save this. Let's save it as, this is going to be Art for the People 2. Art for the People 2. Thanks for hanging in there. This is, you know, when you do something that's like this, it's not the same as like a presentation I presented where everything's canned. Today there's nothing canned, and so it takes longer to make it, but it's more authentic. Do we value authentic? Yeah, we do. We value authentic. Okay, next segment. Ready?
So, yes.
You know what to
the
say?
third slide, well, I'm going to talk about the Kifa Cafe show.
Yes.
That seems reasonable.
Did they sponsor it? Was that did they approach you, or how did the Kifa story happen? Kifa Cafe.
The Kifa Cafe approached me to have an exhibit.
Okay.
And I decided rather than show my work, I would show Alvin's work.
Well, that's a great idea. Okay. Ready?
Yes. Kifa Cafe approached me to have an exhibit of my art, and I decided I wanted to show Alvin's ceramic pieces instead, or at least along with my art. The show was very successful. He sold almost $600 worth of his heads, and he's going to use that money to pay to go to Montgomery College.
That was an excellent little segment. So we're doing short little segments. That's good.
Is that what you would think is
yeah.
the blurbness?
Yeah, the blurbness. And it automatically adds the file format for Audacity is AUP, okay? That's just its file format.
Are there other options?
Yeah, we can export it to WAV. We can export to WAV, and once it's in WAV, a WAV format is an uncompressed audio, and on the Macintosh, the name for a WAV is AIFF, Audio Interchange File Format. Those are the same. What?
AIF is the same as WAV?
Yeah, AIF, they're both uncompressed audio
Micro
formats.
PC.
Yeah, what's that?
AIFF is for micro PC.
They play on both. It's
Oh,
just
really?
the terminology. Just the terminology.
I thought WAV was from the Microsoft part of Windows.
Yeah, a WAV is an uncompressed format though. It's an uncompressed format, non-proprietary. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. So let's select all here.
It's the native sound format for Windows.
Right, it's a native format. It's a good format, I like it. So let's go edit, select all, and let's amplify this. Oh, I'm so curious to try, and I want to make the Power Bullet right now. I've told Alice that I'm going to continue working on this project beyond today's workshop, so that we don't have to have any concerns that we're not going to get everything done that we want. But let's
for demonstration.
For demonstration, right.
For us to learn
Right.
about it, you don't need to make it.
We want to, let's start, let's export this into WAV format. Export as a WAV. I think Power Bullet might be able to import waves. I think it imports either waves or MP3. Okay? So I'm going to make this a wave. A wave is uncompressed audio. And then I also want to get the first one. It's in the lane folder. Lane, so I want to get the first one, Art for the People. Right, let's make this a wave. And the second one. Okay, now we got 3 waves. When you get waves, you're ready to surf, right? Isn't it ready to surf? Okay. So we're going to go back to our Power Bullet, which I'm trying to remember where it all ended up. I think this is it. Yeah, Art for the People. Here's the file. The Power Bullet file has a small picture of like a movie reel. Okay? And that's the file we want to load. It's going to bring us back to here. Yeah. So over here we want to insert the sound, right? But they don't have insert sound. I think they have, you have to go to the page. You have to go over here to page, and then page sound, okay? And then they say, browse your computer to find the sound. You want an MP3 file or a WAV file. Okay, we've got browse. We've got this. Over here, I think it's over here.
It's looking for just MP3s.
Oh, right now, thanks. Are we lucky that Nia showed up or what?
She has good eyesight.
Yeah. But I don't see it giving us another choice. Look, Nia, it's not giving us another choice. It's not giving us an all files. Yeah, that's why it wasn't showing it to us.
Just type asterisk, not asterisk, and file name, you should see it.
Over here, dot asterisk.
Yeah, asterisk, dot asterisk.
And
Open.
open. Thank you. This is a collaborative project. Thank you. Okay, and here it is. That's what we want. And now we click OK. Good. Now we move to the second slide. I think you move by using the arrow keys. Or
Maybe
yeah.
down at the bottom.
No, actually,
is that not there?
The navigational arrows haven't been added yet, so we can't use the arrows. We just come over here to page and we go shift forward a page, or next page is Alt and right arrow. So Alt and right arrow. Oh, takes us here. Good. So now we're ready to put onto this page another sound. Browse. Star. Here we are. Thanks. There's the second one, right? And then we go.
Use star.wave.
What's that?
You can use star.wave.
Star.wave? Oh, great. To show just those? We go page. And your name? Robert? Yeah. Robert's helping us out. Thank you. Here we go. Browse. And he said we can also do star.wave. Open. Yeah. We want that third one. Okay. So now we got 3 slides and we got 3 audios. I think we're ready to export it and see how it works. This is where the software does all the work and we get all the glory. It's starting that up. So, yeah, it's using, it's right now in Firefox. Let's go back. It ought to be playing the audio by now. I'm going to close this. And art for the people. Those are the WAV files here. We've got 3 WAV files. I'm expecting it to be the SWF. Let's try and take this HTML file and put it onto Internet Explorer. Did you notice the information bar? Pop-up window. We don't want to see that. Okay. Okay, we're not seeing our presentation. That's okay. I don't get flustered. Right click on that.
Right, and open with.
Open with.
And then open Internet Explorer.
It's trying to look out for the internet at that point. Yeah, SWF files don't open so well on their own. Let's try this. Let's try.
Open Internet Explorer in the browser.
Okay, smart. Open. Desktop, art for the people. Okay, it's not seeing the graphics for some reason. Or it's not seeing, it's not seeing our presentation.
Is there an X in that little box up the other way?
Yeah, it's just a generic icon. Oh, it says Internet Explorer has restricted from showing active content that could access your computer. Oh, we want to click here for options. Allow. Here we are. That's all right. Here we are. Okay, so we're getting it, and let's go to the next screen. It should be playing the audio by now. And it's not getting us to our second screen.
There it is.
There's our second screen.
There's
our third screen. It should be playing the audio. It should be playing the audio. So, okay. Then I know what we should do. Let's make some MP3s. When Mike gives you lemonade, you make lemons, you make lemonade. When he gives you WAV files, you make MP3s. So, to make an MP3, let me show you how easy it is. Start off with Audacity. We open it up. We want to open up. It's all in the lame folder. Art for the people. Okay, this thing over here, let's export it as an MP3. Art for the people MP3 on the desktop. We don't need to put in any of this extra information if you don't want it. Good. There's one MP3, and let's go and get some more. 1, art for the people 2. Whoops, I chose WAV by mistake. File, export as MP3. Now you notice it's not giving us a choice of the quality of the MP3 to export. That's why I tend to use a separate audio program like iTunes, which is free, and on the iTunes options I can control exactly the quality of the MP3 to be exactly what I want. It's probably going to make a pretty good choice here, but I like to have as much control as I can. And here's the third one.
Is there a way to find out what it did render it to?
Yeah, there is some way to find out what kilobits per second it chose for us. I might use like QuickTime Pro on my Mac and look at the information for that file.
You should be able to just right click it.
I might be able to right click it too.
Go to properties.
Right. Let's try that. So we've got these MP3s over here. Look, I think that's the MP3. Right mouse click it, properties. Summary advanced. It doesn't say here. What's that? Yeah, it doesn't say under. That's all right. So this is an MP3, that's an MP3, and this is an MP3. We are ready to put those MP3s into our power bullet. Now, our power bullet's over here, Art for the People. Remember, PBT is the extension for the power bullet. When you want to edit, there's lots of other associated files. Okay, there we are. Let's, I want to clear. We currently have that WAV file sitting in here. Page sound. Oh look, they did remove. Okay, so there's no audio right now. I just want to be careful that I'm not putting two different kinds of audio on one slide. Okay, let's go browse. And this is what we want. Art for the People. Open. And click OK. And then we go Alt and the right arrow takes us to another screen. Then we're going to go Page Sound, Browse, Art for the People 2. Click OK. Alt, right arrow. You can see you can get pretty fast at this kind of stuff. And you could actually have a digital storytelling day where people just came and told you stories and you had graphics and audio, you know, all day long. Could be kind of neat. Especially if you had like 5 laptops. You could do a lot of storytelling. You can put all your stories on the internet for free. There's free web hosting at a couple of different places. The Internet Archive gets free web hosting. Archive.org. Archive.org. You can upload as much as you want. That's sponsored by a philanthropist. And another place to put stuff on the web, well, there's Google Video. If we were to somehow if we could somehow convert this to a video, we might put it up on Google Video. Unlimited hosting for video that people upload. But there's other places to put up stuff, multimedia for free. Like GeoCities, maybe if you had a GeoCities account. Our storytelling that we're going to do, even though it's like 3 or 5 minutes long, it's going to be like 2 megabytes in file size. So even, you know, it's not going to be huge at all.